AugieRFC in chat. Yo, what's up, C? What's up? What's up, C? He picked up. Yo, what's up, Augie? What's up, buddy? Hello? He left the call. Wait, hello? Augie? Augie. Augie.
What are you doing right now?
I don't know. I just like...
What's on the menu tonight on the Turkey Tom, dude?
Calling you.
Nice.
I think that's it.
Dude.
There was someone else I wanted to call, but I can't remember right now.
Bro, I've literally... There's so much fucking shit happening.
What's happening?
I don't know, man. Like, I was just covering a bunch of shit. Dude, that fucking Illuminati file stuff is so funny. I don't know if you, like, watched that CB2 guy's video on Illuminati.
Isn't that guy made like 12 videos about her? He's like an A-log.
Yeah, he's like an A-log, but he's like this 18-year-old kid that like just started YouTube. And so he's like making all of these like videos or whatever, right? And he found this like random guy. He basically like, he was talking, this kid came to him, this 15-year-old kid. And they were like, yo, dude, like we should go like hunt for files in like the Discord server of Illuminati's like Patreons or whatever. And this kid was like, yeah, this might be a good video or something. So the kid basically like used himself as bait, actually found a fucking file, but like we don't even know if it's a file.
Wait,
like,
he gets a real kid to use himself as bait?
Well, he didn't like plan to do that, but the kid kind of just like offered himself up, and then the guy just made a video about it, and then everyone got like mad at him.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of bad to do a video about like a real, if it's a real, even if it's like baiting and the kid knew it, like it's kind of fucked up.
I don't know. It's easier to like if you like just watch the video to like see what the happened, but I mean, the guy called in, like the CB2 kid called into the show or whatever, and he was like super chill about it or something. He was like, yeah, I probably like handled this like total shit. But it was like really funny too, because Blair is now like hiring like private investigators and like lawyers to, like sue the guy and like throw him into the ground and shit.
The guy who made the video?
Yeah.
Why is Blair so crazy, bro? FPS
Dude.
Diesel came in my stream the other day and was like talking about her match.
Yeah, bro, dude, she could have just easily responded to that video by saying like, you fucked up, like you didn't get the age of like the supposed file, you immediately jumped on my ass, whatever, you sent a real kid as bait, which is dangerous as fuck or whatever, like, you know, you, this video was shit.
Instead, it's like hiring private investigator for a video with 40K views.
Well, also, like the CB2 guy went to her and was like, hey, there's a on your Discord server, right? And then Blair was like, oh, dude, you're banned. You're trying to instigate drama. And then her mods are putting out statements to the server. They're like, FYI, ban any YouTubers coming in here. They're trying to set up false narratives that we have calls on our Discord server. Meanwhile, Illuminati murdered the Click because the Click had one on his Discord server that they banned instantly.
Yeah.
But she's like actually like protecting one of them, bro, and then trying to like sue a kid just because he did research. It's such a crazy story.
Is she ever gonna make a response, bro, or is she just off?
I don't know. I think she thinks she can just sue her way out of it, but she's been thinking that for years.
Oh, she started posting again after a few weeks. Looks like she's posting. Her videos are doing horrible, though.
Yeah, they're doing bad. I don't think she ever stopped posting, though.
I thought she did for like a minute there. Like I thought for like a week she did, because usually she uploads multiple times a week. I want to go to her social blade because I think I saw the other day that she had lost like a ton of. I mean, what was she at her peak? Like 1.4? Okay, wait.
She's like 1.7, bro.
So she was. Now she's 1.4. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, bro. Whoa, yeah, she's lost. I mean, she lost like 200,000 subs in 1 month, basically. That's pretty crazy, bro.
Yeah, man. It's a pretty funny video to watch. I don't know.
I'll give it a watch on stream then.
If you're looking for content later.
Is there anything else?
I can't stay for like super long right now, but
yeah. What else is going on? I know you probably saw AugieRFC and Critikal fighting on Twitter about like gambling stuff, but that was like a few days ago.
I saw a little bit of that or whatever. Dude, the gambling discussion just gives me like autism. I don't understand why people care about gambling so much.
I mean, I think that gambling can be bad and gambling addiction is horrible, but I think for people like Hassan and AugieRFC, it's kind of just like a virtue signaling thing, realistically. I didn't realize you were talking about AugieRFC. I hate that guy, dude. Hassan's a little editor that just like feels the need to insert him. It's like, dude, you're a editor, dude. Sit down and just make your videos. I want to hear you speak or talk about anything. I hate that guy. That's what I say to my video editors too before I whip them in my basement. But it is just
it's like you can't give an opinion on you don't do anything. Fuck off. You know, I hate editors. They're such pretentious little.
To me, it's just like I understand the gambling argument a little bit because at the end of the day, like, you know, people like Trainwrecks will be like, oh, well, you know, I talk about the horrors of gambling and I don't really promote it to my audience. But obviously there's a reason Stake pays him, right? Because he gets attention. But on the other hand, you have to take into account the fact that, like, I think that there's a lot of like moral evils that streamers will promote. I mean, OnlyFans is just one of them, which I'd argue is probably almost as harmful.
It's way worse than gambling by far.
Okay, is it worse? I don't know about that.
By far, I think so, because porn is so much easier to access to fucking everybody, not just children. Obviously, porn is way easier for children to access, but even just like adults or whatever. It's like for gambling. I mean, maybe you can make a different argument from an online. When I think of gambling, I think of like going to the casino and shit, right?
The thing is, you're right. It's more accessible. It's more accessible, but if you're a gambling addict versus a porn addict, the effects are probably way worse. Because gambling addicts will gamble away their entire life savings.
Yeah, but it's harder to like fall into that shit than it is to become like a fucking chronic masturbator, I think.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And here's the thing too about porn. It's like weed in a sense, where it's like, you know, you jerk off or whatever, and you think like, oh, this isn't affecting my life or whatever. But then you get into like the repetition of it, and you don't realize like the like weed is very similar. It's like you think of like drugs, right? And drugs have a very like obviously negative effect on you, like hard drugs, obviously, right? But weed is like such a passive thing that people just get into the habit of. But then over time, they look back and they're like, holy, this ruins like 5 years of my life, right?
Yeah.
Like is like very similar to weed in my opinion, and it's like it's deceptively evil, and it's like deceptive how like strong the effects are. You don't see it like in real time. You have to like conceptualize it and know about it.
I would agree, yeah, but I don't think the majority of like Twitch viewers or whatever are ready for that conversation.
Wow, this conversation is. I'm 14. This is deep. Kill yourself, dude.
Yeah, I agree. You need to hang yourself right now. But I will say, like, I don't think that the majority of Twitch streamers are ready to handle that conversation. The reason why gambling is such an easy one to dunk on is because it's like, well, now they're on a different website where they're gambling, and it's Trainwrecks and Aiden Ross who are edgy, so it's like it's really easy to like pin them down. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Twitch promotes gambling too through DraftKings, which is, you know, sports betting. Sports betting is still gambling. It's the same exact thing. It's just Dude, seen as more socially acceptable.
I'm just saying, man, I don't get like the moralization of gambling from like people that clearly don't give a fuck about like any sort of like vices. Like if you're like a guy that's like super obsessed with like, you know, living your life to its fullest potential and not getting bogged down by vices, yeah, sure, that's one thing. But all the people that moralize about gambling are like degenerates.
Well, it allows you to morally grandstand, bro, and that's you get rewarded for that, right?
And it's like I don't understand like why one vice is promoted but another isn't. It's like, dude, you either like my view on like vices is like very much like it's like IDubbbz's view on the N-word, you know? It's like, come on, man. Like I don't see, especially with gambling, like I just don't see it as like such as harmful as like, I mean, you think about other like alcohol even, or like you know, like the other that I was talking about before. It's just like, dude, that's like alcohol is like way easier to fall into susceptively or whatever. It's like you drink that shit, you immediately feel good, you make horrible decisions. You know, with gambling, you have to like compulsively decide, I'm going to spend thousands of dollars out of my savings and myself. Like, I feel like that's harder. I'm not saying it's like impossible, obviously.
It's harder, but for those who fall down the rabbit hole, it's probably overall worse for those specific victims. But it's hard to even compare. So I don't think the name game is necessarily that important, but it is important to talk about just the fact that like they're both moral evils, and yet we like people promote both of them, and like one group gets chastised. One group gets chastised and the other doesn't.
All the people that are against it's like Hassan's editors. Like, you really want to be on that guy's side?
Well. Also, the thing is, like, Hassan's editor and Hassan, they're leftists, and their number one concern is worker rights, and they literally work for Amazon, who has like been accused and found guilty of a bunch of like worker rights violations. They're anti-union, they're anti-freedom of association, and they frequently
Amazon like beats the fuck out of their workers. It's like worse than slaves. What Amazon does to their workers,
and none of them give a shit. They don't talk about it. Critikal brought that up, and he made a great point of it, just talking about the fact. By the way, can we talk about, okay, listen, Augie, we need to have a conversation, and the general YouTube audience is not ready for this conversation. We need to have this conversation, okay? Critikal,
what's up?
Critikal is like so based. Critikal is so based, okay? He actually is, and he's kind of fallen into this trap recently where he's gotten like too popular, and so now there's like portions of my audience and portions of your audience and portions of like the kind of more base, like edgy corners of the internet where they're like, you know, Critikal just makes like kind of you know, cringe videos or just drama videos, like end of the day, like kind of cringe. Like,
yeah, people that are obsessed with looking cool hate Critikal.
Dude, Critikal is good. Critikal literally, people say he makes the same take all the time. He goes out of his way to be base, like on this issue, or like on the IDubbbz video, where he sticks his neck out and makes a video basically saying that IDubbbz is stupid and shouldn't have made his fucking apology. And yet all these fuckers are like, oh, he just posts the same fucking boring drama opinion. Dude, Critikal posts videos where he puts his neck out and gets shit for it, and he stays there. He keeps the video up. He keeps going. He's based.
I think the problem with Critikal is that what he does is like he is one of these people that does want to be like liked by everybody, and I think a lot of people have like a natural like disgust to that. But I don't really think that's like logical at all.
Does he want to be liked by everybody? I feel like he doesn't.
Well,
he's just
I
nice.
mean, I'm talking about like when he gives like the items take, right? Then he'll give the follow-up like clarification so that everybody is like everybody from all sides.
Well, his audience
is,
started
possibly...
his audience started like canceling him. So I feel like he felt the need to clarify some things because people will when you post
I feel like
one
it just
thing,
comes
people will
from a
take it out of
giant
context.
misunderstanding. I feel like it comes from a giant misunderstanding of who he is. I feel like Mr. Beast has like the same problem too. Like Mr. Beast is not bad, but for some reason like everybody on the internet that's like obsessed with looking cool, it's like an aesthetic for them. They're like, I must hate Mr. Beast because he like represents like fucking plastic YouTube channel bullshit or whatever.
But
like,
Mr. Beast is really cool. Have you seen interviews of him? He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's fine. That's what I'm saying. It's like people get the wrong ideas of these guys because they're famous. It's like, oh, they're famous, they must be the enemy.
Yeah, but it's just like it's silly. They're YouTubers. Like these, I'm not saying every YouTuber is cool, but Mr. Beast and Critikal are. Hassan is the enemy, but that's okay. You always got to have the enemy. Okay, he's always gonna.
I'm gonna drop a really nuclear take on your stream, dude. Honestly, some of the recent clips I've seen H3 are kind of funny.
I could see that. I mean, the Bo Black.
He's getting more into like trollish shit, which is interesting.
What do you mean by that? Can you give like a good example of that?
Well, he's like trying to like I mean, he still whines a lot. I'm not saying H3 is based or cool or whatever, but he seems to be more focused on telling jokes again not constantly, but every now and again. Like he just is more focused on like having a laugh at shit rather than taking it super seriously. I mean, obviously he's like a fucking weird like lefty fucking
Where could I find some base
guy or whatever.
Where could I find some base H3 clips?
Honestly, I was watching him and Hassan, and they were talking about who the fuck was it? I think they're going after Abba and Preach, which I don't really know why. I think it's just because Abba and Preach makes a lot of videos on him. But Hassan was sitting there talking about it. He's like, oh, I hate Abba and Preach. I don't even like talking about them. You know, they're so, you know, they just make all these videos on me, and it really pisses me off. And H3 is like, that shit, dude. Let's just turn that shit into content. Let's just bully them for the rest of let's do 30 episodes in Abba and Preach.
Yeah.
And I watched this. I'm like, Hassan is such a little wimp here, but H3 is like, it, dude, let's play the game. Like, let's get dirty with these people or some shit. Even some of the content that H3 has done on like Keemstar is like really funny.
I noticed I went on the H3 podcast channel. Why do they not have like a lot of videos? Like they stream a lot, right? Is it locked behind members like paywall?
They usually only stream, and YouTube separates streams from videos.
Oh, wait. Oh, I forgot because the live tab is different now. That's okay. I was confused. Yeah, because now I see like every few days they're streaming. Okay, that makes sense. That's interesting. I mean, I was hoping he would turn around at some point. You know, I think some of the
I don't think he's turning around, but I think he's been funnier more lately than he has been usually.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's good. That's cool.
Like some of his content on fucking Keemstar, like where he's like I obviously I love Keemstar or whatever, but like some of the stuff where he's going over like Brantley, like where they're not just like sitting there like, oh, he's a pedophile. That's just lame as. But some of the other stuff where he's like just roasting like cringy stuff Keemstar does, I think that's just goofy shit that reminds me of like old content, like item shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Satius for 5 says, any way you could secure a twomad interview? I considered messaging him about that. I feel like he wouldn't do it. I mean, Leafy wasn't able to get it. We messaged a bit. He asked me today if I was going to make a video about it, and I was just like, about the twomad stuff, and I was just like, I mean, I'm going to do like a shitter Tom Dark video, but I feel like I can't really say anything about the situation yet. There's nothing that's really come out.
That guy needs to get offline, bro. What is he doing?
I don't know. A few minutes ago, he said he was having like a mental breakdown or something. He was like, but when I get over it, I'm going to win.
Yeah, if I was him, I'd be having 24/7 breakdowns.
Dude, someone said you wouldn't be having breakdowns if you didn't sexually assault a girl, because now you're realizing people are turning against you. Keep yourself, show us yourself or something. And he quote tweeted with a picture of like the Asian guy with the strong jawline, like Dr. Han or whatever.
What the?
He also tweeted 48 minutes ago, he said, I'm having a mental breakdown. I think I will win because of it. I will eventually crash and come back to reality, which is I will win while driving the 2x to my. I'm literally driving, but I'm in Oregon. And then he sent the like Easter Island emoji. He's like retarded. Why is he like retarded, bro? What's going on with him?
I feel like he's always been retarded times drugs now. Every YouTuber, like, I don't get this. Like, you look at like guys like Benji or whatever, like all these old commentary channels, you wonder why they haven't uploaded. It's because they all been doing drugs all day and just himself.
Well, dude, he was a fan of my
Even
videos.
sad.
He was a fan of my video. Like, he had messaged me before and been like, "Yo, good video" or whatever. Like when my Amos Yi video came out, he was like, "I like your video." And I was like, "Okay." So not that long ago, like a month or two ago, like right before I moved to Canada from the States, I messaged him because I thought he lived in Toronto. I guess he doesn't live here anymore. He lives in Los Angeles. But I was like, "Yo, I'm moving there." He was like, "Oh, okay." So I had a conversation with him. I was just like, "Where you been on YouTube?" He was just like, "I had a bad breakup." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And that was kind of all he said about that. And I was trying to get in a call with him to give him like life advice because I'm like the gay life advice guru guy for some YouTubers now. But I was just trying to give him like, okay, you should do this. Because I feel like I've done things that have like remarkably improved my life, like going to the gym or like not doing drugs, like is a general rule. Obviously VidCon we have some exceptions, but just stuff like discipline, consistency.
Partying and like once a year vacation, that's different.
I found that like going to the gym and like putting a lot of work and time into my job and like having good interpersonal relationships. Like gym, girlfriend, friends, and like work. Like that's all I really do. I don't really have hobbies. And just doing those things like has made my life really good. And I've tried to spread that knowledge. So I was hoping to share that with him. But then he just kind of f***ed off, I guess. And we didn't really have the call. And then when we were in LA, I was like hoping to try to hang out with him. And then like in the middle of like the party the last night before I left, like he got accused of like rape or whatever. So yeah,
that was really weird. I don't know, dude. Some people you just can't help. That's the problem. I'm really lucky to be surrounded by fucking like, you know, dudes that I get along with or whatever and I'm working with and stuff like that, right? Where it's like I'm, you know, you get all that shit those red pillars say of like, oh, you need a tribe or some shit. They word it really cringy, but it's like true shit. You know, they'll be like, yeah, you surround yourself with people that are like,
I mean, it's literally just like surround yourself with cool people.
Then you will want to do that. You're not going to be the loser of the group if you're like surrounded with a bunch of like motivated guys that are doing shit. You're not going to sit, you're going to be less, I mean, you might be a loser, but you're going to be less likely to be a loser, right? If you're fucking like Jalen just sitting in your fucking room by yourself, you're not going to do shit.
I mean, the thing is, even if you're the loser, of that group, like the loser of that group is still 10 times better than the average person, right?
Yeah, comparatively speaking, you're probably better off.
But he's just like, he's like lost. Bernie has to call and I'm going to add him to the call. Do you got time to stick around for a bit?
I can stick around for like 5 minutes. I got a big trip coming up.
Big trip? You're lying.
Hello. Do you hear me?
Yeah. What's up, Pimp?
Not much. You guys are talking about VidCon, twomad, all this crazy shit.
Yeah, just like all the retarded stuff that's happened over the past week, I guess, right?
You know what's gay about the Ostnox Critikal beef? Sorry to bring that up again, but like the Critikal is like responding with like long, like thought out messages. And then Ostnox was like, I'm not responding. This is too long. I can't read this. Really?
Well, Critikal's like intellectually engaging, right? He's actually trying to make like an honest argument. He's putting some skin in the game. And then Ostnox is just like, but like you're like wrong and yeah, that sucks, bro. Like he's retarded. He has no thoughts in his fucking head. That guy.
Yeah, literally though. It's just so annoying. It's like you respond to people on Twitter. It's like all of those people, like this Twitter, like fucking like lefties, like they just are like fucking vultures the way they respond to people for just like owned, and then they leave and disengage. But then they pretend like, oh, we're fighting on the side of good. It's like off.
Yeah. It's
so gay. I mean, they're arguing about gambling, so the topic isn't really that high stakes or serious necessarily. But I just saw that shit. I was just like, Critical's like. His response would take like a minute to read if you're at all competent at reading. But these people are, it's like instantly, it's like, no, too long, didn't read. Really? It's like Critikal wrote you like 50,000 characters. It's a fucking 2 paragraphs at most. Oh, dude, just read that shit.
I mean, end of the day, like he doesn't even want to intellectually engage. Neither does Hassan, neither does Pokimane. They just want to be like, couldn't be me, yikes, gambling, and then that's
But they want to start the conversation, but not finish it or engage.
Well, they don't have to finish the conversation because their audiences will just eat up whatever they say without like critically engaging in it.
Yeah, which is fine. Just don't fucking start dumb shit you don't want to like talk about. It's like so basic. I don't know.
Well, whatever. We get to talk them on stream, make videos about it. There we go, right?
Yeah,
that's how we
win.
That's how we win, I guess. I mean, not sure. Like, truly, thank you, Ostnox, for the content. Thank you for being so that I can talk about you for like 20 minutes straight. That was cash money fire ad revenue. Did you guys see that YouTube apparently, the Wall Street Journal published a report about how 80% of their ads aren't up to their own TOS?
Yeah, I just covered that.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. The stuff that you can't get away with on YouTube is completely retarded, even in comparison to like television guidelines now, which is like more strict than it was probably. Because you think about what was airing on like MTV, it's like, you probably can't get away with that nowadays on TV. but there's stuff that they only let on the platform when it's published by like a mainstream outlet or a mainstream documentary.
From what I understand,
like
though, a lot of
Netflix.
what they're talking about is basically the fact that like YouTube would put someone's ad on something and then they wouldn't like completely fulfill what they're supposed to be doing for the ad, which is like a violation. This person named Nandoodle says Google has never been weaker than it is right now. Their search ads business, their main source of money, has been taking since ChatGPT. They're facing 2 antitrust lawsuits. Now it turns out they've been caught in a multi-billion-dollar scam. Oh my god. Let me explain the scam itself. Advertisers pay YouTube good money to run their ads on before or after YouTube video or on the YouTube platform. But sometimes YouTube runs these ads videos embedded on third-party websites like you see here. So basically people pay Google and then Google doesn't actually put it like on YouTube where it's supposed to be. These third-party websites and mobile apps are called Google Video Partners. Google positions these sites as equivalent to the YouTube ad experience, sound on, fully viewable, and skippable. For example, these are all valid placements as in the Popstar example above. Again, advertisers are paying for sound on, fully viewable, and skippable. Here's what they're getting 80% of the time. Muted, autoplay videos off to the side, unskippable. Since at least 2020. So basically they're being accused of not fulfilling advertiser requests rather than like pushing ads, basically. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Why are they trying to get away with that?
Are we going to make less money? Are advertisers going to come and negotiate for like lower brand deals? Am I going to make like 20% of what I make now? I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to be so mad.
You know what's really funny? How many YouTubers don't realize how like little Google fucking pays them? Like as soon as you start taking sponsors, you realize like if Google were like to be honestly paying you for like the ad space in their fucking videos, you'd be making like thousands per video. Like
to be fair,
like,
though, sponsors are like an individual agreement, though. You know, they have to do a broad
obviously,
one,
I'm not saying like they should give you.
I feel like Google
100% of
pays
what
us
you're
fairly.
owed.
Google pays us like 75% of the revenue from the ads.
75? I thought it was like 45.
No, it's okay. I think it's 65. They take like, okay, let me look up what cut does YouTube take? I think it's like 32%.
I mean, ultimately, the trade-off of using YouTube is that it's like free server hosting.
Okay,
You don't have
so
to like pay for your own website. And
YouTube takes 45. We get 55. That's still pretty good. That's still pretty good, right?
yeah, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. The trade-off with YouTube is that you don't have to pay for like server hosting or like running a fucking website.
Which is
I don't know,
well, no, it's not just that. It's the algorithm. It's the viewers. It's the algorithm.
it's
It's the built-in
discovery.
fan base, which is like you can't get that anywhere else.
I guess.
No, not
Feel
you
good,
guess.
though.
That is the case. That's absolutely the case.
YouTube doesn't pay me
I
shit,
feel
though.
gay,
They like,
like
I barely get like any
55,
money.
They take like 30%.
You
of my
don't post
server chat.
fucking bedhead Bernie.
Man, all my videos I don't post partially because my shit gets demonetized. Like, because
But you also don't.
to,
You also don't really make an effort to like deal with their bullshit.
yeah, because I don't want to bitch out and be like, oh, I can't talk about
Well,
I
then
can't
you
talk
don't
about
get
sensitive
money.
subjects. Yeah, well, I think they should have exceptions for certain specific
Well,
educational purposes.
this is the
and
world we
I don't
live
even
in. We have
make
to deal with
videos
it.
and, like, I don't even make videos and edgy shit anymore. It's like I did a video covering like a fucking like story or something, and it like no matter what I did with it, it was getting demonetized. I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed? Every video on YouTube is about all this dark shit. Half of it gets monetized, the other half doesn't. What the fuck's the difference?
Dude, I think every
Very
losers.
arbitrary,
I think every
to be
losers
honest.
creeps pedos video is monetized on my channel.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then you have that shit in the thumbnail. How?
Dude, I adhere to what I think they want, and they accept it. When I swear, I censor it. When I say he raped a kid, I don't censor it, and that's what they want. So I don't know what to tell you. Like that's what YouTube is right now. Like,
why do they want that?
You have to make peace. You basically just have to make peace with it, or you don't make money. Like I'm not YouTube. I agree.
No.
Like I agree, it sucks. Like their guidelines suck. Advertiser guidelines suck. But first of
Okay,
all,
let me
okay.
explain how arbitrary it is,
No.
okay?
Wait. You're gonna let me finish, then
Okay.
you can go. First of
Okay.
all, this is what YouTube wants. This is what YouTube feels it has to do to appease advertisers. Because YouTube is like a soulless corporation. They don't give a shit. They just want to make money. They want to make money off whatever they can. They just have the guidelines to appeal advertisers, and they're all bullshit. I agree. They're arbitrary. Like it's inconsistent. I'm dealing with a bullshit age restriction right now, but like that's what you have to deal with right now. Like YouTube, at the end of the day, wants to
they
make
have
money.
the power in this relationship against the ads. I feel like they just don't flex that because they're afraid.
Yeah, they're afraid. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like
But I don't
some of the
think- I
smartest
think that's,
people in this space who run YouTube have decided that they're afraid and that it's good to be afraid. Like, what am I supposed to convince them otherwise? Like,
Well, I just think like one of the videos that I had removed was because I was discussing why there was a huge controversy around that stupid like meme Momo. You remember that? Like,
of course, yeah.
Stupid like sculpture. They banned all mentions of like, or not banned, but like heavily age restricted, demonetized, and sometimes banned mentions of Momo because of a controversy where this person convinced like a kid to commit suicide using the meme. And because of that, you could not say this like retarded meme on the platform. My video got removed for talking about what happened with that situation in like an educational context. Rainbot's video, not even about that situation, about the creepypasta, was removed. Like it's complete bullshit.
I agree. It's complete bullshit. But the trade-off we get is that we get access to the greatest like invention in human history in terms of entertainment and bringing our videos to eyes, which we would never have access to without that bullshit. So it's like it sucks.
Yeah, no, I agree, but I'm just saying I don't want to like capitulate to their and I think it does a disservice to the topics a lot of the times. I don't think like with every video, but for specifically like just the way I want to present it, it's a disservice to the content.
I agree,
but
like that's just
I'm just explaining my perspective of why I like am getting fucked and I accept it, but that's why I don't upload and I don't make any like much money off YouTube itself.
I mean, I agree.
But I don't know.
I agree, but it's like I don't know. What am I supposed to do? Argue with YouTube? Like I'm not.
No, it is what it is.
Implement tried and it didn't work. Okay, so what am I supposed to do?
I don't know, man. I just wish I had a better guideline of like what not to do, because it's like I know edgier topics can be covered and monetized and make a ton of money. I just don't know like what like the do's and don'ts are.
Well, the do's and don'ts are like maybe it's not like maybe in writing it's like bullshit and like the TOS is inconsistent. You just follow what other YouTubers do that are making money. That's it. That's literally it.
No, I don't even disagree.
Yeah, but I don't see what's monetized or not. It's not like I can see like a green or yellow on a video and I'm like, oh, that's monetized.
Ask me.
Sure, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I do. To be fair, I do ask you a lot of advice when I'm titling and thumbnailing a
Yeah.
But I'm trying to find the example of something that just surprised the shit out of me.
It does suck though. Like for example, Wendigoon had a video that get age restricted recently, I think, and it was just about like it was about video games.
Which is
bullshit.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, he did a video, the disturbing and controversial video game iceberg, which is just talking about like Manhunt. It's all fictional content, but that video got like age restricted, I think, or demonetized or something.
Well, it's like it's arbitrary. There is no set in stone guidelines. Sometimes they'll you over, and they won't fuck someone over for the same thing. It's completely arbitrary.
So what you have to do is get big enough that you can whine on Twitter about it, and they'll give your video money.
Yeah, but like you're right. Like this is how you play the game, but I don't think that necessarily negates the criticism.
I agree. It doesn't negate the criticism, but it's like, okay, the criticism exists. What do you do about it? Because you can put those words, you can put those words in the air, but that won't fix anything for anyone.
So like here's an example.
Anything, but it's a good explanation for why the type of certain types of content are sustainable.
I did a video where I just put a in the thumbnail, and that's an example of me seeing like loser creeps videos. I'm like, all right, those are all. Well, I mean, loser and creep probably aren't dangerous words, but like videos, right? That gets monetized, but I put a in the title, and that's demonetized. What the fuck is the difference?
Well, that's it. I don't put it in the title. I put it in the thumbnail.
No, sorry, I misspoke. I meant thumbnail.
Well, I don't know if it was demonetized for that. I think it was more likely to be demonetized for something you said in the video that then the bot picked up and it was like, oh, limited ads.
I think it might be some of the tags or whatever, which tags are like another part.
Why do you do tags? Like, I haven't done tags in years.
Every time I ask a YouTuber if tags are like good or not, they're like, yes, you need to spam the video with tags.
They don't really do anything anymore.
No.
The description is more important than tags. You should put the keywords there, is what I was told.
Augie, I've gotten like 500,000 subscribers in the last year. I haven't done tags on any of the videos I posted in that time.
Well, everybody I asked has filled them up with tags. So
who did you ask?
Everybody. I'm not joking. Like literally, dude. I asked fucking Scrubby. I asked fucking Cyrus back in the day. Lol. I asked fucking literally every big commentary YouTuber. I asked all these motherfuckers.
That's old advice though.
Their channels are all dead.
Who told all you tags are important? Literally every guy that uploads on this website. I'm not even joking.
Cyrus is just like gone and gay right now, I guess. Damn.
Yeah, he had horrible advice. That's why he was canceled.
He also gave bad advice to kids.
True.
Bo Black said, "Who told Augie that tags are important?" Lol. I should add Bo Black to the call. $C for 5 says raw. I'm gonna add Bobby. Bobby. I'm with Bobby. I roll up a stogie.
Your channels are all dead. Now they gave me the advice.
Well, that was like 4 years ago.
Don't ask them for advice, I guess. But
it was like 2 years ago, dude. When did tags die?
I feel like it was a while ago.
A while ago. I definitely heard about them being like pointless in 2021 at least.
Yeah, same.
I've spent like fucking 10 minutes figuring out tags. It's all fucking pointless.
Dude, I've been live for 43 minutes. What the fuck have I done for the past 43 minutes?
Ramble. You've been sucking off YouTube.
But yeah, YouTube. I mean, YouTube is like gay, but also they pay me money. So like, what
Look,
do I?
I was thinking about this because you guys were talking about twomad, and then you're talking about all these creators being off drugs, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking, like, you remember there was that huge wave in like 2020, like post-pandemic. This was like twomad was part of this. There's a huge wave of all these Twitch streamers, like part of the Carson Minecraft SMP.
Of
They all went
course.
to Dream. I wonder how much there must be so much stuff like behind the scenes that we're just completely unaware of, like including drug use. But just all these people seem like they were doing weird shit. And I want to know, like, I want someone to defect and actually just do a tell-all with proof of, like, what that, like, behind the scenes, that huge boom was actually like. Like, all these streamers getting, like, this audience of, like, just stands. And, I mean, we saw, like, Carson basically get destroyed over it, but...
I mean, that would be a great video, but the thing is, like, none of them really want to talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about, like...
Maybe someone like
there's
Josh would
Noah
talk about it, I
Hugbox.
guess.
Do you remember Noah Hugbox? His, like, huge, like, manifesto
I know
he wrote
him.
before he left?
Yeah.
Like, where's that? He, like, wrote that manifesto, but where's the proof, man? Where's, like, show us the evidence. Show us, like, the conversation.
You know, Hugbox?
That would be interesting.
Hugbox, from every conversation I had with him, was like cool. He came to VidCon 2021. He was there at all the parties, and he was cool. But he also like was very like he really hated like Dream, and I think he had like a grudge against Jay Schlatt because he thought Jay Schlatt stole his bit or whatever. And he also drank a lot. That was the three things I noticed about Hugbox, apart from the positive stuff, which is like he's super funny, charming, cool to talk to, and like really interesting. I actually was about to buy a computer from him, and then I got suspended on Twitter, and I couldn't talk to him anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing about that is like a lot of the people who would want to talk about them negatively probably would only have like the negative stuff to say and have been burned in one way or another by them, or like are resentful.
Yeah, well, I
want
to hear that. Okay.
I mean, I want to hear it, but you got to take it with a grain of salt.
Come out with all the dirt, and then we'll sift through it and see what's true.
Okay,
That's
the thing is, if there
doing.
was legitimate dirt, don't you think someone like Hugbox, who posted that whole manifesto, would have posted all that by now?
No.
Or like Josh, who ranted against like Dream and shit like that. Why would they not? They've already lost their careers. Like at this point, why would they not?
There are a million different factors potentially for why someone would not want to do it. Even if they're pissed off at those people, maybe they're friends with someone who's friends with that person. Maybe they're afraid of the audience. Maybe they're afraid of like, you know, the public narrative going against them, and then everything coming down on like all the stands coming down on them.
You know who would talk?
Like all their associates and their family. You know.
Do you know who would talk and probably knows all of it, and also is like somewhat clean because the dirty laundry is already out there? Can you guess who I'm gonna say?
No.
Caterino. Caterino lost everything. She has no connections anymore. Like maybe Fitz lets her like.
I don't know if I want to listen to her though.
Well, I don't want to listen to her, but like she can just type DMs and we'll just read it. But like Fitz probably lets her suck his dick once in a while, but that's like all. Like,
yeah, I mean, like
she has no
she probably has a lot
anymore.
of dirt of like, oh, here's all the dicks I sucked, but that's not like interesting.
No, dude,
like, I don't want to know that.
It's
Don't
not
tell me
that. It's not that. She definitely knows more. There was a bit. There were people talking about a while ago how they think that Carson like kind of fucked her over and like he was a bad guy in that situation. But I mean, she kind of won, he kind of won in the public eye at the time because he was more favorable. But nobody's really re-examined that. And there's probably a lot of situations like that could be re-examined that people may have a different take on now. You know what I'm saying? And Caterino has no connections. I mean, her career's not like, you know, totally tanked. Like I'm sure she has a following, but it's not anywhere near the trajectory it was set on after she got on Love or Host with Carson. So it's like there's definitely stuff that she or someone like that would be willing to talk about. Or like Skeppy. Come on, Skeppy.
I don't even know who that is, but like that like clique, there's so many of them. There's so much random, like weird, like vague allegations in the air. There's all these weird, like gossip, and then you hear about all this random, like drug abuse shit too on top of it. Like these people are like probably like completely fucked out of their minds, like doing all this crazy shit with their like this new huge young audience in front of their fans.
Well, they basically overnight became like they're a bunch of like losers and virgins who just like became rich and famous in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying like
20 or like 18.
I'm not saying this like cancel them. I'm just saying I want to know. Like I want to know what this actual. I'm sick of the sterilized image of it. I want to know what it was actually like.
They're probably all fucked up behind the scenes, like, and it's probably not just exclusive to like Carson Group or whatever. It's probably like majority of Twitch groups, you know, or streamer groups. especially when they all live in the same area and like meet up IRL and do streams and.
Kai, I can't hear
Yeah,
you at
like-
all. I know you're talking to me, but I know you're talking to me, but I can't hear you. Kai, what'd you say?
I said that I think your stream was dropping, but
It's
I
over.
turned my Wi-Fi off so the bandwidth.
Okay. You talked over Bobby, so I couldn't hear you. Bobby does not need to shut up.
Bobby.
Okay, how many subscribers do you have? How many subscribers does Bobby have, okay?
True.
Let's talk about that.
True.
Let's talk about that allegation, okay? The no subscribers allegation. But I would like to know all that stuff too, Bernie. I would love to know. But people say LA literally poisons you. I don't think all of them move to LA. A lot of them move to like Austin or like New York City.
Well, yeah, I imagine it's like just similar, and I don't think it's because of the area specifically. I think it's more because
It's the culture of the
they're-
area.
Yeah, well, and they all get like big. They all become big Twitch streamers and have this audience that's constantly feeding their ego, especially if they stream like 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. Biggest streamers, like, and they're young, so.
I mean, a lot of them have
I
really
don't
fallen
know.
off since then. I'm trying to think of the people who are still like growing. Like Jay Schlatt's still growing. I guess Dream, but Dream has a whole bunch of baggage. Jay Schlatt has like a big audience, but not as big, and like he doesn't have a lot of the toxicity attached, and he's still going. Who else is there?
We're at like the it's like this, there's a second stage. That's why like a lot of people who only like came into the picture with Dream SMP are now growing, while all the kind of creators before are just grandfathered in. They're not really making headlines anymore.